Vice Chair Laguardia,
Present. Can you hear me?
Secretary Treasurer Cruz,
Here.
Commissioner Camacho,
Present.
Commissioner Orlino,
Here.
Commissioner Rios. Mr. Vice Chair, I have not gotten any information whether Commissioner Rios will be logging on as yet, but he's not online with us just yet. Okay, and Commissioner Westling.
Here.
Mr. Vice Chair, you have 5
Okay.
commissioners present. You have a quorum.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Director. Okay, so let's proceed. And Mr. Director, as you will address the matter,
Yes, thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
go ahead.
Vice Chair.
go ahead.
Okay, you've all received my short report, basically on February 20th of this year, the transfer of $8 million and 0 cents from Ancestral Lands Trust Savings Account at Post 360 was split equally between the Asia Pacific Group of Raymond James and the Bank of Guam Investment Services, with instructions to invest these funds conservatively. That has been completed. And attached in my report for your review are the investment reports for the month of February 23rd and from February 2023 from both financial investment firms. Now, we did transfer the funds there on the 20th of February. So that report represents 8 days of earnings. And if you look at them closely, on one report, we earned just over $2,000 in 8 days, and the other one we earned over $3,000. But because of this, on February 27th, 2023, Coast 360 Federal Credit Union made an offer to the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission to invest its funds into their special term share promotion with rates as high as 4.4% APY. And at their discretion, though, Coast 360 may waive early withdrawal penalties to avail of the 24-month term shares only, provided that the funds are not withdrawn within 6 days from the account opening per regulatory requirements, and that the funds are being withdrawn for purposes directly related to the mission and objectives of the commission, such as payout to landowners or payment for the development of properties, and subject to the availability of the promotion rates. And again, I attached the Coast 360 special term share promo to this report, and also the letter from Coast 360. Coast 360 also recommends that the commission consider establishing a business money market savings account to increase returns on its current savings account balances through higher rates with greater compounding frequencies. That means these accounts will compound monthly, but the APY is still annual. But so this is a high yield savings account, and the benefits are the money in these accounts remain liquid, no monthly service fee when you keep a $2,500 daily balance, and dividends are paid monthly, and we could write up to 6 checks per month. Again, I attached the Coast 360 money rates. And the difference between certificates of deposit, the CDs, and share certificates are that they're both low risk accounts where funds can grow at a fixed rate. The main distinction between them is that the CDs are products offered by for-profit banks, and share certificates are offered by member-owned non-for-profit credit unions. So they're pretty much the same, except one is something that banks would use and the other would be used by nonprofit credit unions. For comparison, I've attached Raymond James and BJ Investment Services certificates of deposit, and they're listed below on the same report. And this is to provide options for investment. I attached also 3 draft resolution templates for your review and consideration. This was recommended by our chairman. And as a note of interest, the U.S. Federal Reserve recently, and this was, I believe, just last Friday, raised interest rates again 1/4 point. That's now interests are being paid out on certificates of deposits and other money market accounts up for about 4.75 to about 5%, which matches last month's increase in hopes of the Feds trying to cool the inflation. And this is the 9th rate increase in a year, with a projection of at least one more rate increase this year that the projections say might bring interest rates up to 5.1. And because of these very quickly changing interest rates, that's why I recommended that in the beginning that we transfer all the funds we have into short-term notes of 3 months. And now we could actually increase that from 3, 6, and 9 months, kind of a laddered investment process, because I see, and the Feds have predicted one more interest rate increase coming up, maybe by summer. We were hoping that there would be a balancing of these accounts by the summer, but because inflation has continued to grow, even with a strong job market in the United States, interest rates are continually also to rise along with that. So that same recommendation I had before of keeping them in short-term notes is what I'm going to recommend, not to include anything into long-term. We're expecting another increase in rates. And while this is great for those who have savings, if you plan to build a house or buy a car, those rates are also going to go up. They're already about 4%, some of them at 5%. I think there's a couple of banks you could still get at 2.5 or 3% on island. But everywhere else, it's climbing. But for the intent of the commission to make as much money as we can and get the best returns on our investments, this is a good time to move the money around. Now, what you have also seen, if you read through some of the reports on the monthly report given by both BGIS and Raymond James, you could see that the majority of the money that we placed out in those investment firms have been placed in various banks throughout the United States. And these banks do not include those banks that have failed. And they've been placed in them at about $245,000 to $250,000 a piece, making sure that all our accounts, as you want it, are insured up to the amount that FDIC will pay us. Those monies that we have within Coast 360, we have close to $7.9 million there. The NC, I believe it's NCIU, which is the credit union insurance that insures us up to $250,000 per client, not per account that we have there. So per client, we have only 250,000 of that is insured. And I know that with the bank failures that occurred, that shook up a lot of people and shook up a lot of banks and depositors in banks, throughout the nation, and in fact, throughout Europe. I think things are starting to stabilize now. And of course, Coast 360, as far as I know, is a very strong and stable financial institution. But that was just a heads up for us that leaving all our funds in one basket is not safe. It's something you should consider. I'm not saying you should make a decision today, but think about it. If you want to make a decision today, we can, but I'd like you to think about it before we make any moves to see how much, and go through the reports I've sent you to see how much can be earned. Because what we've earned in the 8 days that we transferred these funds to BGIS and Raymond James, with that amount of money over 8 days, we don't make that with Coast 360 over 3 or 4 months. So it just shows the amount of earning power and loss opportunity that we've been experiencing over the years by leaving our funds at Coast 360 for less than 0.5% versus transferring them out and earning 4.5% to 5% through various banks throughout the United States. So I encourage you to go through all those reports and look at them. I try to summarize it as best I can, so it is easy reading. And if you have any concerns, of course, bring them up to me today. But it's just showing you the example that we are making money now. And this is just the first report. My intent was to give you quarterly reports, but after I discussed this with our chairman, he said, no, I have to bring this up to you right away. So what I did was I create 3 templates. One, if you desires to move some money out to move more money out to the investment firms, to Raymond James and or Bank of Guam Investment Services. I created one for you. I see our chairman is saying that he's sorry. I don't know if sorry he's coming in or not. But and the other two is for Coast 360. One is to invest some of our funds into the business money market for savings, increasing it from, I think right now it's at 0.25% in our term share savings, our landowners recovery fund, and our SID account, and at 0.23% in our checking account. To what Coast 360 is saying that we could earn in their money market at least 0.3% and possibly 0.35%. Until they saw us move money out of their financial institution to two others, these promos and offers weren't made known to us. But now they're doing that, trying to encourage us to leave money in their institution. But I have to admit that what is offered by Raymond James and BGIS, and I got to admit that local banks here and even local credit unions cannot compete with these investment firms because these investment firms are capable of spreading the money out among various banks throughout the continental United States and even internationally, if that would be the decision of the commission of the board. So that's why they can't compete with them. But that's a policy decision that the commission will have to make. Of course, BGIS is a local. I see our chairman coming on board right now. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. So it's something that we have to think about. And what concerns me is that when our chairman and I were in a meeting with Coast 360, they told us that they would allow us to invest in the longer term shares that they're offering at 4.4% with no penalty. But now the no penalty is offered, no penalty at Coast 360's discretion, not ours. That means they could always say no. And they want us to commit to a 2-year note. Of course, they do offer shorter terms at lower rates. And at the lowest rates with BGIS and Raymond James, it exceeds even their longest term. I just say they can't compete, but they are local. So I'll leave it to you to make that decision. I provided the 3 templates and also with blanks in it that you can fill out. I encourage you to take your time and look at it. I don't think Coast 360 is going to fail anytime soon, but neither did people think that that would have happened to the banks in the States. They failed overnight simply because there was a run in the bank. I don't think there's going to be a run on Coast anytime soon. So, because of the kind of clientele that they have there. And so it's something to consider. And that's why we have today's meeting. I see, Mr. Chairman, you're on. If you want to go into explaining why, I see you're still moving around. You're not seated yet.
Yeah, no, I had some technical issues again. Sorry about that. But I'm on. If you need me to chime in on anything, I just basically got on. I'm not too sure how much of the
Well, I was
conversation-
explaining why we did this and why we have this meeting. And basically it's because of what we received from Coast 360 as an offer. And I got to admit, their offer is not bad. It's a whole lot better than what we have going with them at this point in time. 4.4, but I do not recommend investing our money for long term. That means anything over 12 months. I would prefer a ladder type of investment because we do expect interest rates to increase over the next couple of months. It just increased a quarter point Friday. And so now the rates are at 4.75 to 5%. And what Coast is offering us is 4.4% locked in for 2 years at their discretion, not ours. But if we go with Raymond James or BGIS, it's pretty much wide open. And we would be getting a minimum of 4% to 5%, maybe higher And locking it in now would be locking us in for the next 2 years. That's why I was recommending if we're going to work on anything, we would use a ladder type of investment at this point in time so that when our investment committee sits down with Gita, they could decide then at a later date how to move these funds around without being locked in for 2 years. I like to give them that opportunity because thus far they haven't met. It's been, Mr. Chair, just you and I and others working this
Yeah.
thing through. So that's why you called this meeting, was for us to go over this. And because of what just happened recently with the bank failures, I know that some of us may have thought about this very carefully, that are we doing the right thing by leaving our money there at Coast 360? And others are thinking, did we do the right thing by moving our money out to Raymond James and BGIS? Diversifying our funds is one of the safest things that we've done, because now our funds are insured by the FDIC. The money's left at Coast 360. As a recap, we're only covered up to $250,000. We have $7.9 million there. And so that is a risk that we're taking. I see Secretary Treasurer Cruz, you have your hand up.
Yes, some of the, you and this has gone through this, and then you have really repeat the options. Now,
Yes.
Okay, so what recommendation on how we can go forward on this? Because honestly, Coast 360 still think that they can control us. I'm very disappointed that is that their discretion to not to penalize us. Now that is, I'm just not very happy about that kind of a statement. So I'm not trying to powerful that the commissioners and we decide, but it's really important that we get recommendation as well as the others rates already. And
Yeah, that's why you have to let me know what the decision is. Are we going to leave it there at less than 0.5%? I mean, the best we're earning there right now is 0.45%, and the lowest is 0.23%. Even our SID funds and checking accounts can be transferred to the other institutions. And there we would be earning, at least on those low accounts, the lowest accounts, at least 4.0 or more. So that's why our chairman asked, that we have this meeting here for the investments and inform all of you what's going on, rather than bringing this up later, especially with what occurred over the last week or so, that scare that everybody had with bank failures, where we had 3 banks fail within 3-4 days or 5 days. And I'm glad that has stopped. But this whole thing was because the feds are increasing interest rates to slow inflation. And the trade-off with that is that some banks will fail. And the other trade-off is interest rates are going to rise also for mortgages and whether buying homes and or houses.
Director,
yes.
can
go
we?
ahead. Go ahead.
Can we?
Go ahead, Marie. Mary, sorry.
Can we go ahead and make another transfer of funds? Another amount. Looks like the 8 million is doing pretty good in a short period of time, and again to be equally split between the Asia Pacific group of Raymond James and the Bank of Guam Investment Services. Again, have that kind of approach. Another maybe $6 million to be split, but and a very short term on the Coast 360, because it looks like it's going to, all of them is going to expire soon.
Yes, Commissioner, we have one account that just expired on the 20th of March. That's with a 10-day grace period. That means I got up until March 30 this week. to do a transfer without penalty. Some of these accounts, when they expire, the penalty, if you don't do this during the that grace period after the not expired, but matures, after the note matures, some of the penalties are $12 or so per day. If you wait that long. I can't calculate right off, but it runs about $10 to $12 per day, depending on the amount in the account. And the one that just matured on March 20 is just over $2.5 million. And we have another $1.1 million in the trust savings account and that is in the 0100 account. And that's a savings account that we're earning only 0.25%. If that were transferred into any of these other coasters, recommending we put that into an account that we can earn 0.3% or 0.35%. But Raymond James and BJS are offering 4.5 to 5.0%. So that's what I'm saying. It's your call to make that decision if you want to transfer. And if we do that, if you authorize me to transfer these short-term notes as they mature into the savings account, because once they're in the savings account, we don't lose any, we're not penalized for withdrawing the money. But if you want to withdraw the money, then of course, from all the accounts, there will be penalties at about $10 to $12 per day after maturity. And the most recent ones of that would have the least penalty would be those that matured on March 15. We have 3 accounts that just matured on March 15, but the 10-day grace period has since expired. Unless you want to wait until that period has recovered in 3 months, and we could do it then.
Director, can I
Yes, Mr.
just
Chair.
okay, thank you. I just want to add a couple of things real quick. So I know I missed. You did update, right? I can tell.
I did update for everyone else. Yes.
On the progress. Yeah. Do we have is Commissioner Camacho on?
Yes.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, great. Did they have any input so far? As far as how about
No.
Vice Chair and Camacho, did they put any input? I
Not
just want to
yet.
get an update.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from the different commissioners on what our action or course of action would be. I mean, I gave you various choices, like I said earlier, Mr. Chair, before you're logged in, but you can see that I prepared 3 templates depending on what the commission would prefer. Of course, you always have that preference of leaving things as they are and take it up at the next meeting.
Okay, I have a couple of points I wanted to bring up, but I'm gonna basically yield to the board how the board wants to move. But the points I wanted to bring up is, Director, if we went ahead and absorbed the penalties and just
Yes.
withdrew the money, I think can we weigh the penalties as opposed to the advantages of it? Is it, you know what I mean?
The advantages will outweigh the penalties. Yes.
Yes, it will, right? Okay, so I like the board
Yes.
to take that into account, that we could still, it's only less than 0.5%. So if we could just do the math and see, then and you're already confirming that it will, right?
Yes.
It's more advantage for us to just absorb the penalties and move it to a higher yields, right?
Of course, that's true. But yeah, I just wanted the commission to be aware of the various options that are out there and what they should be thinking about when they make this decision. And of course, I understand why some of you would hesitate, because this is something new that we're moving into. But if you see from the first report from the first month, where we invested only for a period of 8 days, the gains that we made during that short period of time. And then, of course, the risk we take by leaving all our money in one financial institution with $7.9 million being insured only up to $250,000. Well, what we transferred out is insured 100%.
Do we have an amount on how much penalty will be do an early withdrawal?
I
standard
did not,
amount?
I did not figure that out, but I had it here for. I didn't figure that out. Let me see if I had something written down here somewhere. I just know it's per day. It usually runs about, depending on the amount you have invested. Uh, No, I don't have it on these sheets. I do know that it equals to about 10, sometimes $12 per day per account,
And I believe you mentioned,
depending again upon the amount of investment.
March 25th was the 10 days for the accounts.
For- For 3 accounts,
Yeah, so we're only looking at 2 or 3 days if we can, for penalties, correct?
it's possible. That's why I said the investment, yeah, the gains well, clearly outweigh whatever the losses will be. Or else we could transfer them into, as they mature, into this savings account. And then as they mature, then start, if it's the wish of the commission, to start investing it in the institutions that give us better returns. And there are those, we have, like I said, 1,120,000 in the savings account already that can be transferred out almost immediately if it's your risk, your wish. And then account 0418, which has $2,586,000 available right now with no penalty. So if you add that up, 2.5 million plus 1.1 million, that's how much you could round it off, that you could transfer without penalty. Then, of course, we have our SID fund of 748,000. Again, that's only earning, it's like a savings account, only earning 0.25%.
Director, may I ask a question? Are you reluctant to move money that had already rolled over?
No, I'm not reluctant to transfer those either, because like I said earlier, the penalties are very low. But if you're concerned about penalties, those ones could be moved without penalties. But
No.
the gains would outweigh the loss. Yes.
Yeah. Can you give us those amounts?
Or the amounts on that,
Yeah.
or the total amount I can give you, the total balance of all our accounts is $7.8 million. $7,821,708 and $708.95. So yeah, like 7.8 million that we have total.
What are the amounts of the
various accounts?
No. I believe it's the CDs that rolled over.
Yeah, the CDs are the ones in the checking and others. Starting on accounts 409, 410, 416, 417, 18, and 20. The ones that have rolled over, that the maturity date will be May 6th, as $907,000. Account 410, it matured on May 6th, will mature in May 6th. Again, it's exactly the same, $907,401.09. Both of them are equal. And then the ones that have matured on March 15th, and the next maturity date, of course, will be June 15th. Account 416 has $459,742 in it. Account 417 has $240,202. And the one that matured, account 420 has $245,730. Those are the ones that have rolled over, and if we move money, they will be penalties for that. Or actually, I'm reading the available. Sorry, the balance is 100,000 higher for each one of them. Let me go over that. I was reading the wrong column.
No need.
On the
need.
409, it's $1 million. Sorry.
No need. So I'm beginning to agree with Commissioner Cruz and transfer a majority of these funds. It'll be safer.
It would be, yes.
it's all insured. The Raymond James and BGIS reassured us that all of these funds that we move over will be insured. So I'm
Yes.
with Cruz. Let's transfer a majority of the funds.
Okay, it's your decision, commissioners. You tell me what I have to do and I'll get it done.
If I may, before I leave.
Yes, Commissioner Wesley.
Yeah, I echo the same sentiments as Commissioner Cruz and Commissioner Camacho. As Commissioner Camacho pointed out, we've been assured that wherever the investment companies put our monies, that they are insured, and I see that they are going with diversity as we had requested. Looking at the interest rates that are being published here, it's pretty much a no-brainer, I would think.
Yes.
Okay, those are my thoughts, and so like I said, I would support, the majority of the funds being transferred to other investment accounts. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner.
Okay, thank you, and I'm really sorry that I'm not able to stay the entire meeting, but thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Adios.
input, Commissioner. We really appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Chair.
Buenas, sorry about that. When it rains, it pours.
Okay.
If I may, I have some questions, and I apologize that, I've only come to the commission and do not have the background of how it has invested its funds before. So just some preliminary questions.
Yes, Attorney.
Coast 360, does the commission already have accounts with Coast 360? And it's going to, these are the CDs that have rolled over?
Yes.
And they now, okay. So this money that you're talking about is at Coast 360 now?
Yes. Okay, the funds that Ancestral Lands earns through the leases of Crown properties are considered private monies, not GovGuam monies. So we do have flexibility, kind of like Gita has. And in
And
fact,
you have an MOA with Gita, right? There is a
yes, we do. And an RFP was put out via Gita, where we were able to obtain the services of Raymond James and Bank of Guam Investment Services. Unlike Coast 360, the placement of our funds there did not follow the procurement laws of the government of Guam. The commission, when they entered into, I guess, investing at Coast 360, were unaware of those laws that applied to us.
Okay, that's why I was confused, because to me, just reading Coast 360's letter, it seemed like it was some sort of an unsolicited offer, which you need to go through procurement for that. But you're saying that, the commission has already accounts and it appears to have been ratified there. However, the one with through the MOU with Gita, the Raymond James, and the other investment firms, that had an RFP out.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now I see the landscape of where this is, and okay, what to do with the money? That's the commission's decision. The rules and regs on the books right now is that the commission may invest and reinvest in whatever securities and bonds it wishes, as long as it follows Guam law. And so that's just the OAG's concern is, was procurement followed? But okay, I'm starting to see this. So thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome. Thank you for the questions also, because at least it gives us a reminder of why we're in this position. And so, yes, the transfer to the two investment firms is following Guam procurement law. The placement of money at Coast 360 did not follow Guam procurement law. So that's why we've been moving forward. And from what we discovered working in this is that we're able to actually increase our earnings by following the law and going through the procurement process. So it's back to the commissioners. I simply need direction.
Just for the record, Director, and I'd like
Yes.
to give a little bit of clarity to what happened in the past when we first started receiving revenues regarding the procurement law with the bank. We just I kind of forget. I think Joey might know the answer to that, but after a while, we ended up going with which bank had the best rates. And our last legal counsel did bring it up about the procurement with that. He said it might be an issue. He didn't say it was. He said it might. And so at least right now we're
Yeah. But now we're in compliance. And because we
Right.
do have accounts at Coast 360 that are in place, I'm not saying we pull everything out at one time, but wherever we do place it, and Attorney Miller is correct, that the letter to us is an unsolicited offer and should go out by RFP, but we already have an RFP out there. So I'm assuming that means that the Coast 360 letter is not one that we should consider. We should consider the ones that have been RFP'd. So it means we're stuck with the lower rates at Coast 360 if we leave them there.
right. Director, you outlined also that BGIS had a better performance,
Yes,
at
they
least on this first report. This first report,
they
right?
made $1,000 more than Raymond James in their report for the 8 days. But things can change in investment firms depending on next month. Raymond James could have more. Everything is averages. You take a whole bunch of accounts that we placed out there and they place them in various banks per the directions of the commission. And that's what we have in return. So now it's back to us again during the short period of time. I know I had planned originally on a 3-month report to you on what was going on until the bank failures started to happen in the mainland. And this came to a head that half of our funds are in one basket, and it's a huge amount, and that we should take care of them, to take care of those funds. So that's why we're here, and that's why I prepared 3 different draft type templates for you to review. And apparently, from what I'm hearing from Attorney Miller's, that the 2 drafts for Coast 360, because that offer was unsolicited, those would be out, and the other one would basically be, if we're going to move any money, it would be based on to the 2 firms that obtained the RFP or obtained the contract through GITA.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Oh,
it is it may be troublesome to accept an offer like that, especially when Coast 360 was not procured correctly to
Yes.
begin with, and we would be perpetuating that. So that could be troublesome. Had it been you got an offer from, or a recommendation from the investment firm, from Raymond James, that's what we pay them to do, is to look at the monies and make recommendations. That's what they offered to do, and that's what we expect with our fees. So I'm just saying that I am troubled by that. There are some exceptions that I can think of, but it would need a little bit more research on that, because the money's already at
well,
Coast.
funny that this is being brought up. Funny this is being brought up because when we were moving the money out and they got the paperwork, they themselves brought up, hey, was this was this RFP or, procured property? And we find out that they weren't procured property. So they themselves brought up that issue. One last thing I wanted to bring up, Director, is one of the options that we thought of was giving Coast 360 the opportunity to match the advantages of what was being offered by the other options. But even if we did that and they were able to match it, that would still be
It will be a
in
problem
violation
according to
of the
Attorney
procurement
Miller.
of the procurement. It'll be
Yes.
in violation of the procurement, correct?
Uh,
Somehow?
Yeah,
You're
what
saying
is
we'll
the,
just be perpetuating it.
what is the
Exactly.
advantage of, and I just toss, it's not my decision. I'm just here to, mediate it and let you know what the legal options are. But what is the advantage to staying with Coast 360? If the interest is lower, it wasn't procured correctly. I mean, these are just, I just throw them out. These are just things. And it is troublesome to just continue on for another 24 months. If anything, when you have something like this, once the contract expires, and in this case, it would be the CDs, that's a contract. It's an agreement to
right.
hold the money. Once it expires, you're out of there. We're done. And that's how we do it with all the other, I'm not going to call them illegal contracts, but other questionable procurements that it was in good faith entered into.
Okay, Vice Chair has his hands up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that like the other commissioners, it's in our mandate that we're gonna seek the highest and best interest for this commission. And like Commissioner Luis has said, no brainer. And I think we should just, and if there's a question of RFP, if they're to do it, they can't offer us a better deal. And I think we should take action immediately and remove those monies where they can be gaining the highest and the best for the commission. Because at 0.25% compared to 4.75% is a ballpark home run already. And I'm just adding on with the rest of the commissioners that we should take action now and move forward with this so that we can
Commissioner-
go ahead.
Oh, Commissioner Cruz, Secretary Cruz had her hand up.
On the background on how we place at Coast 360, Director Dan took a check of all the banks and what their rates were. And they found out that Coast 360 was the best rate, and he was supposed to have placed a file on how we selected Coast 360. That's what I recall.
Yeah. Commissioner Camacho?
I'm gonna have to log off soon, so if we're gonna make a motion to take a vote, can we do that soon?
Mr. Chair, it's your call. They're gonna make a.
Yes,
Commissioner
okay,
Camacho
so
says that she's-
I think we're all in agreement regarding especially the numbers with regard to the advantages of the numbers and the insurance. Okay, and in addition to our legal counsel's caution about the procurement issue with Coast 360, I think let's put a motion on the floor and get it done. Oh, I want to add something. How much should we reasonably keep into the bank, or are we going to take everything out? How much should we keep? We need to keep a certain amount in there, Director, right? For whatever purposes we need to do, or shall we just take everything out?
Okay, what I could recommend at this point is the resolution that I gave you, which comes under draft resolution, the template 2023-002. The language is in there to transfer upon maturity all the CDs, if you want to call it, or term shares, into the savings account. And then from there, to transfer a certain amount of that out, as, because like Attorney Miller said, is the contract is when the CDs mature upon that time, they kind of like expire, and then that ends that contract. But we could transfer them upon maturity into the savings account, and almost immediately that could give us over $4 million or so. I didn't calculate it just yet. Transfer that out to Raymond James and BGIS equally. And then as the rates go on, I would, if you would approve it, I'll be preparing the resolutions, if necessary, more than one or just one, to as an all-inclusive resolution, that upon maturity, these are transferred in and then immediately equally transferred out to BGIS and Raymond James. And the resolution that will cover that would be that resolution 20-23-002. It has in there pretty much all the accounts. It does not have the accounts that are not term shares, the 0100, 0101, 0102, and 0200. Those could easily be included into that. Of course, those don't have a maturity date. Those are savings accounts and checking accounts that can easily be moved within a day's notice.
Okay,
The other ones
but,
do have matured. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Chair.
Direct, yeah, you verified that basically it's more advantageous to go ahead and take them out of that term shares because the yield is so low that it's more,
Yes.
it's advantageous for us to go ahead and move them out.
Okay,
And get them into the hands of our fund managers, because
Okay.
it's a no-brainer, correct?
yes. So then the total amount will be $7,821,708.95, plus any interest accrued during this time that they've been in there. Of course, we
Could
would
I get a
also
consensus?
have,
Could we get a consensus on the board that they agree with that? That should be we should go ahead and take it out early despite the penalties? Because I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that as well.
It seems so close since it rolled over that I think the penalties will be nominal as well.
I agree.
Okay. Sounds good. So,
Minimal.
Madam Secretary, you're,
Oh, no. So what is the amount? 7 million what?
Okay, the balance of all the accounts. You have it, part of my report that I sent to you. It's the third page on the far right-hand lower part of the graph. $7,821,708.95. That would be the total. Of course, I did not calculate at the interest earned on those accounts between the date I put there, February 17th. So that could go up another $1,000, $2,000 for that total amount. So we would put all of that plus any interest earned. And pretty much that's how I have it written down in the thing, that I know interest earned into the trust savings account. And then from there, we would transfer, well, actually you don't have to transfer to trust savings. Then we just simply transfer it all out to Raymond James. And I'd have to work that out, with each of those firms, if we're going to send it out to them or wire transfer them equally.
so, Director, you don't need to confirm that there's no issue, right? We're good with it. If we need to just go ahead and absorb the penalties.
The penalties, yes, because that's only on a few of them. Yes.
You're confident. Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Very good. And what about the board is also in agreement half and half towards Raymond James and BGIS?
Yes, I am.
Commissioner
Yeah,
Camacho?
that's fine. Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
So split equally between the
Okay.
two firms.
Yes.
Okay, Director, let's move. Let's move. Somebody make a motion.
Yeah, well, one last comment.
Yes,
Mr.
Vice Chair.
Yeah,
Vice Chair.
I think when you guys formulated the investment committee, this should have been dealt with them. That I believe that's with Commissioner Camacho and Commissioner Cruz. So you guys were volunteered to be a part of that investment committee. So that should have been decided upon and then presented to us.
We always have to
But-
come back to the commissioners.
No, I know, but I know, I understand, but that's a matter. That's why you formulated the investment committee. That's my comment.
Very well taken, Vice Chair. I'd like to apologize to the board. I did take it upon myself because of and the director regarding the proposal that was given by Coast 360. And yes, we should have given it directly to the committee. I did have the director reach out to see if we can get an agreement on a date, but we just ended up moving forward with it and giving you the information. But I agree, Vice Chair, it should have gone directly to the committee, the subcommittee. But well
Yeah.
noted.
And I see that it still doesn't go over the heads of the committee, the investment committee. If we transfer funds into Raymond James and BGIS, they can still determine and report to the board on how they want to invest these funds. But what I would do is like what I was instructed by the board earlier is to make sure that they're invested in short-term CD notes and other kind of money market notes that can be insured up to 100%. And that's what we've done thus far until our investment committee sits down and decides what risk are we going to take. Currently, we're at the ultra conservative risk. We're not into moderate or into any aggressive investments at this time. Based on the board's instructions, we've kept them conservative. And this is what we're earning at the conservative rate. But that's something that I believe that the investment committee should look into. This part was just a matter of setting up the accounts at Raymond James and BGIS and initially opening those accounts by transferring funds into them. After that, it's something that the investment committee should take over on. And at least the monies will be there for them to decide the mix that they would want. But that's how come I do not recommend putting at this time anything into long-term and let the investment committee handle it. If we place it with those two institutions, we allow them to either put in 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, what I call a laddered form of investment. That way it's easy for them to move the money around into other accounts or into other investments at their discretion.
Point of clarification. Regarding our funds in the banks, did we give that directly to the subcommittee in GITA when we move accounts in there, or is that we're only
We
talking
didn't-
about investments outside of the
Yeah,
bank, right? Not
told them
within.
no, with the board instruction was conservative, so that's what they did. Now, what the investment committee will be doing will be recommending to the board. The board makes that decision. You made the decision the last time to keep it conservative. And that was the decision that was done, and to spread it out through various banks to make sure that all the funds we have are insured. We wanted to make sure the funds
Well-
are safe.
Okay, but when we got this promotion ad that Vice Chair put on the chat group, and I saw it, that is still within the bank itself. So by us moving and investigating that. That's not.
Oh,
the
within
subcommittee,
Coast three
correct? That's
sixty, you
still-
mean? Within Coast 360?
Yeah, just Coast 360 itself. That's
Oh,
what
uh,
we ended up. Yeah, just Coast 360. I mean, if we're gonna move to transfer to different accounts in Coast 360, that's not the sole responsibility of the subcommittee. That's still the board, right? But
It's the
moving
board.
it towards,
And
yeah,
I
it is
think,
the board. It is the
I think
board.
Attorney Miller made it very clear that we would be perpetuating a problem that we've identified. Because the account we have at Coast 360 did not follow the procurement laws. And therefore, she kind of advises against it because we don't want to perpetuate mistakes that we've made in the past. And what we're working with BGIS and Raymond James is in complete compliance with the procurement law.
Okay, very good. Can we move? Can we move? Let's get a motion on the floor and get it done.
I just want to say, when it comes to investment firms, right? If the commission decides it wants to have a more fluid or liquid asset base, it's very easy to put out another procurement, and Coast 360 can respond to it. And we could just do this, and get them all in through that process. I mean, it's not closing them or any other bank in town down.
Well, we actually discussed that with our fund managers, and they said that
Okay.
we could do something timely with them.
Hmm.
They assured us that we could get some timely, make some of the funds liquid so that in case we needed to do something almost immediate.
Okay,
But
that's
thanks for
something to
that.
think about.
Thank you. Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Commissioner Cruz.
So I'll make a motion to transfer $6 million to be equally split between Asia Pacific Group of Raymond James and the Bank Investment Services Incorporated, with the instructions to continue to invest the funds conservatively. That way we still leave some money.
Director, does she need to? Yes, Director, does she need to address one of those three options you
Yeah,
presented to the board?
we could use resolution 2023-002 to address that. And I could work out the actual numbers in it where we come up with $6 million.
Okay, very good. And that's also in regards to which accounts, right? Those term share accounts? It'll cover that?
Yes, it'll be the term share accounts. And what I won't,
Okay.
yeah, and the ones that I can move around easily. And if you would allow me to, with the way the resolution is written right now, is that upon maturity, those accounts would be moved into the land bank trust. But for those not maturing, that because we're going to move 6 million, and I believe for those that mature, I could move about 4 million into out, I got to come up with 2 million more. I could figure that out, which accounts to pull out and which ones not to. I'll take the ones with the short
Okay.
terms.
And her motion covers that, right, Director?
Yes,
Correct.
motion to transfer $6 million equally split between Raymond James and Bank of Guam Investment Services with instructions to continue to invest conservatively.
Okay, sounds
And,
good. Mr. Cruz, would you wanna refer to that resolution number on your motion?
Director, can you go ahead and add to my motion on the resolution number? I don't have
Okay,
it. written.
resolution number 2023-002, draft resolution number.
Okay, so it's on the resolution, proposed resolution 2023-00.
002.
Yes.
Okay, Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
very good.
I have
Motion on the
that.
floor. Motion on the floor by Commissioner Cruz to transfer $6 million from our Coast 360 account to our two fund managers.
I second the motion.
Second, do I hear a second?
Camacho, Commissioner Camacho.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Camacho. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, any
Aye.
nays? Any nays? Okay. Any nays? No nays, Director? Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, commissioners. Mr. Chair and Secretary Treasurer, I'll have the documents prepared by tomorrow. So if you could come in, because that way with the largest account, account number 0481418 has $2,686,000 plus $686,000 plus balance that we're going to be moving currently. That with the trust savings, those ones will not have any penalty if I move those funds before the 30th. But I need to prepare the letter of instructions and the
Okay.
resolution for your signatures. I have that ready tomorrow. And that way we can get that out by the day after to Coast 360 and set up the wire transfers to Raymond James and also to BGIS. So thank you. So I'll be calling you on that. And if necessary, one of us will drive out to your, if you can't make it down here, we'll come out to your homes, wherever you're at for your signature. Okay, great. We'll have that all ready for you by tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Will
Okay.
that come with a box of pizza?
Okay, I'll tell Joey and Andy to get the pizza ready for you.
Mr.
didn't
Chairman, I
realize
need
you
to
were gonna
excuse
do it.
myself.
Just joking.
Yes,
Miss-
thank you, Commissioner.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Okay,
Thank you all.
Commissioners.
Bye.
I didn't
Director,
realize
that-
we're
that
gonna go this fast on this, but I'm glad I had the templates ready for you. So,
Okay, Director, I guess that's it, right? We're gonna convene
Yes.
this meeting, this
that's it.
special meeting. Okay, it's now about what, 3:10, I guess, around 3:10, 3:11.
Yes.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. So Juice Masi, directors, and
You need a motion,
Uh,
sir, Mr. Chair? A motion to
Oh,
adjourn
you?
first. Yes.
okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay, motion adjourned, and perpetual light shine upon our past chairman, Tony Yada.
Yes.
I have a final
Okay,
comment,
adjust,
Mr.
take care of
Chair.
it.
Yeah, go ahead. But
Sorry?
I gotta, can we just a quick comment
Yes, Vice Chair?
on the, no, Mr.
Sure.
Director, can you hear me? You know, over
Yes.
the, I saw that there was you were on the talk on KOAM News with Nestor Lecanto.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, did that new public law that you stated, the federal government law, really change the role of the returns, I mean, the process of the returns of federal excess lands? Because what I heard is that the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission facilitates the return of federal excess lands to the government of Guam.
That's where I wrote, and I copied you on that on a request for legal opinion to Attorney Miller. She should get back to us on that. What I believe is the process we have is based on local law that the properties once received by Gov Guam should be listed into the excess lands registry with the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission. And then my interpretation is that any government agency or entity out there who would like to have these properties have 45 days to petition the commission, the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission. But I say, let's give Attorney Miller time to go over the material I sent her and wait for her response to see if my assessment is correct. Because my belief is the jurisdiction is still with the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission.
That's what that's what I wanted to clarify, because if that's the case, then we should just not exist then.
Right, but I believe the way the local laws are written, that once received by GovGuam, the receiving agency is the Department of Land Management, but the director there must turn over the documents to Guam Ancestral Lands and anyone out there, any agency would have to petition the commission for these properties, and it's left at the discretion of the commission. But we'll see what Attorney
Okay.
Miller,
Yeah.
give her time to review the documents. It's
Yeah.
quite lengthy.
Okay. Yeah.
I sent
Yeah,
her, you saw how much I sent her, so she's
Well,
not gonna come
yeah.
up with that in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
expect.
I didn't, yeah. That's all I wanted to find out, because that was a public comment, and it can
Yes.
be, it was a
And there's
very
a lot of
powerful statement.
There's a lot of misinformation going on out there. And I just want to make sure that we're clear on what our job is here. And I try to clarify it as best I can with the KUM interviews and
Okay,
trying to
okay.
leave my emotions
Yeah.
out of it
Okay.
and just going strictly by the letter of the law.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
which is-
based on that,
yeah.
we also need our legal counsel to make sure that I'm on the right track whenever I give these statements out there, especially I am aware that because of what's going on, the governor will be calling me in soon to give her an assessment. And I'm preparing that assessment for you on the April 12th meeting. And that will most likely be given by Attorney Miller by letting you know what the process is, if there's anything in federal or local law that I may have missed. But from what I've gathered, the commission has the final say in this.
Yeah, and
not
just to
Department of Land
clar-
Management. Yes,
Right, and just to clarify, all opinions, as you know, have to be vetted or approved by the Attorney General of Guam. So I will work with him to make sure we get a timely response to the commission. Because these things, that unfortunately it is time consuming, especially written opinions, but we'll see
Yep.
what we can do to
Yeah, okay,
expedite.
just make sure that you review our enabling legislation. Refer yourself to that, because that's what we're following. And I just don't want the public to lose hope already that it goes straight to the government of Guam. All the future returns of lands, release of excess lands, go directly to the government of Guam for public use. And then these original landowners have no hope already. That's my concern, and it's very critical that we address that, because that's the true formalization of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission, is to return the federal excess lands to the original landowners. Okay,
okay.
that's all I want clarity
I-
right now.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I was about to
Thank you.
remind you, we had only one topic and we're already adjourned.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. That we were adjourned, but it was
Yes.
just a comment. It's not
Thank
on
you,
record.
Attorney
Yeah.
Miller.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm
Yes,
asking.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
there's
and that's
more
why-
that I need to
that's-
ask again, but we'll do that at another date and another time.
That's why
because
Attorney
things are-
Miller and I have been,
Yeah.
I've sent
Yeah.
her the questions
Yeah.
and I know she's working on it.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
got to
And-
give her a little time.
Okay, also, thank you, Attorney Miller, but also look at the governor's reform proposal too. I would like to review that too and have you look at that, because there are things there that again that are questionable again, with the intent of our role as ancestral landowners, because all of us here in the commission here are heirs of the original landowners, and we're what the public are concerned, they want to know, and I just want to be able to be ready and to answer them most particularly in public arenas. Matai's funerals and on all of that kind of stuff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's,
Okay, adios. And
Okay,
good night,
adios
Commissioner
now.
Lino. I know it's almost 1 o'clock